Hello, this is for a 96 Dodge Dakota pickup. It's the old body style, not the new one. So I think in 97 they went to the new body style. So this would only apply to like 91, I think, to 96, maybe 92. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, this is for like the second generation Dodge Dakotas. This applies for both the heater core and evaporator core. A lot of people in the book and everything else says you have to remove what's called the suitcase. The suitcase would be under the hood most of the time on older vehicles where the evaporator core would be and easily be changed, and then the heater core would be right here behind the glove box. But since they made it where there's not much room on the under the hood because they want to put a V8 in this particular model, they stuck everything under the dash. Pain in the ass. Really, they should have made it where this top piece was in half. This way you can just decide which side you want to remove. They didn't do that. There's a lot of screws on the top and the back side. Those are removed after you loosen the dryer unit, and then also the bolts on the back side of the firewall that hold this on. I'll show you those in a second. What I did want to show you is you do want to, let me clean the lens here. You do want to remove your climate control because you will not have enough room to squeeze in here and take care of this. I'm not a big fat boy or anything like that, but I can feel for the people that are 6 feet or over. This is going to be a challenge for you. If you are that height, before you even start doing this shit, just take the seat out. If you're 5'10" and under, you should be able to do this if you're under 180 or under. If you're 180 and over 5'10", take the seat out to get this out. If you're over 6 foot, then scratch what I'm saying because you will have to remove the suitcase here, the box. Otherwise, I don't foresee somebody fitting. But now let's go on this climate control. This will be in here, and the buttons will be on the front. See how they get the panel there? You got defrost and everything else. This tab right here, don't be alarmed, there's only going to be one of these tabs, and that tab goes on the defrost because when it's selected, it shorts out the circuit to turn your compressor on. So no biggie there. So you only have one. When you do take this apart, it's going to be clipped like this, so you're not going to see anything. And those hoses you have to disconnect, which is these little hoses right here. Take a picture and make sure you get the orientation correctly, because it could go backwards and forward, and then you'll have defrost on another selection. What happens is this acts like a ratcheting system. So I'm going to do this. So basically, you'll have a that's how it goes there. But you have a spring that pushes that direction. So basically, so if you see how it works right here, so one gets selected, so it's, see how it just freely moves? Well, the spring is going to push it this way, so you'll have one that gets selected that way, and it keeps it selected. And then the next one, when you push it, it will select that switch. But there's actually springs here too. So when you select another, so let's disengage them all. So when you select one, and then you go and you decide to, you decide to select this one, when you're pushing on it, it's gonna, what's gonna happen is this one's gonna get pushed back, and this one's get selected like that. So, and there's gonna be two little triangles that kind of piece that go from right here and here, and those are on the other side of the truck. But they're basically just like small little bushings. You'll see them when you take it apart. This is the spring right here that goes on the back side of these little clips. So hopefully that helps you out on that. But you have to take this all apart to be able to get yourself enough room. You do have to take the steering column, disconnect that, make sure to disconnect all the wiring, the computer ECU. You do not have to disconnect the the airbag controller. It's a good thing to vacuum everything out inside there and make sure you don't have any leaks like oil and buildup and everything else. But then this would be a great time to replace it if so. I'm not replacing it because my luck would be I put the new one in and the new one causes issues. Now, you do not have to drain the coolant out of the system to do this. I vacuumed mine out because mine was slightly overcharged, so I'll just recharge it correctly. But there's a bolt here. There's a bolt here behind that wired harness. There you go. See it right there. There's a bolt over there. And not correctly, I think there's one more down in this lovely area right down in there. You're gonna miss. Behind the dipstick for the, so you can see it right there. So that would be behind the dipstick for the trans fluid, or Bruce Jenner, I guess we can call it. But so you also make sure to take off your dryer bracket. This way you can get as much motion out of it as possible. Be gentle, thin metal. Yeah, so if you do all that, then you should be able to get to all the bolts that are on the top side. The top side back, because these two are going to be the hardest bolts to get to. Make sure the easiest way to do is just have the ratcheting end wrench. That'll save your life on getting majority of the back bolts that are on this side off. Disconnect your heater hoses obviously, and you should be able to get taken care of. Just kind of pry up. There's a billion little bolts everywhere on this damn thing. Obviously I'm not going to put down every bolt back in here, but I'm going to put down a majority and just put a thick load of silicone sealant and just run with it. There's even bolts like on the back side where your floor vents are. There's like bolts headed that direction at a 45-degree angle. So when you pry, just pry gently. You should be able to see what's missing. So yeah, you even have to disconnect the radio, climate controls, all your ventilation, even your side vents for your have to come apart. This part has to come off your kick panel. The panel that goes up onto your A pillar, that has to come off too. Any questions, just shoot me a message in the forums here. It should be no different if you're mechanically inclined to be able to take the dash apart. Just take off every screw you see. You also have to disconnect all the switches over there to give you more slack. This is going to be screws behind it holding everything in. And this one bolt, you do have to take this apart to get to that one bolt to take it off. The other side you do not have to if you just lets it slide in the slot, and that's what I did. So the metal is just going to bend back. So it might not be perfect, but it's a 96, so who cares? If it's a customer's car, I guess take off that kick panel over there and do it properly and push everything back and give yourself a little bit more room to work with. But I find that having the dashboard at a 45-degree angle actually works best to be able to get in there over here, and any bolts you needed that you forgot under the dash on the driver's side, you can kind of just squeeze in on the floorboard and take care of those. So yeah, this is the heater core. Tiny. There's two different sizes on this. Best bet is just to call the dealership with the VIN number to figure out which one your vehicle takes. If you understand, you can put the larger one in and just you have to modify the suitcase a little bit. There's like a revision, but I would just stick with the one that it actually came with. There's nothing wrong with going to either one. This is the old one. They're normally made out of copper, so you'll see that they start leaking and causing issues and start going your floorboard. The bolt, now when you have this in there, there will be a let's see here on this one. So yeah, so mine's a little bit different on here. So the old one, which weighs a ton more because it's all copper, you'll see that there's a hole right here, and on the bottom of the suitcase